Well, good morning. It's morning for me. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. Actually, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I haven't put a video out because I've been working straight days on a project at work. I got a couple days off. I did some work around the house. We'll touch back on one of the projects that you were looking forward to because it ended up being really nothing. Just a little oil changes on the hydraulic fluid and on the engine oil. And we'll touch back on that. But today we're going to be working on the Kubota L3901. Specifically, we got a box over here from the ITC company, which is ITC Attachments. They do a whole line of attachments for all different kinds of tractors. Specifically, one of the series they do is for Kubotas. So today we're going to be putting a combo package together, which is basically going to be a toolbox, a tray, a chain box to hold my chain. Right now my chain's wrapped around the hitch on the front, and a chainsaw holder. So let's dive into the box. I've had this box sitting on the porch for about a month. Guys at ITC been contacting me, asking me what I thought of it, and I hadn't really been able to tell them anything yet because I hadn't opened it up and done anything with it yet. I told them I would get back to them as soon as I could. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I paid for all of this. I forget exactly how much it was. $460.66. But if it does what I want it to, and if it does what I think it's going to do, and it's going to make things easier for me in the way that I think it does, then it'll be well worth it. I've been looking at some from different companies for quite a while. And tell you the truth, I just hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I saw them pop up in my Reels feed while I was watching Reels on TV on my phone, and their product looked better than one of the other products I was looking at. And just for reference, the other product that I was looking at, I've been looking at for over a year. Now, I still like some of the products that other company has, and I may end up buying some of those as attachments for the tractor. Now, packaging wise, I've seen a couple unboxing videos, and the packaging is real good and no complaints there whatsoever. Comes in a big box, everything comes self-contained. Kind of looks like they got their own little assembly line for stuff. You just pick it up and go with it. Makes it real easy for their guys in their warehouses or their inventory supply chain to grab and go whatever they need. The way they packaged it in the box seems pretty good. Had no complaints about the packaging. It's heavy, real heavy. Majority of it is all steel construction. So it's what you want if you're gonna have your tractor live outside. Mine does. I don't have a fancy barn or shed or anything to put it in. We're going to put the toolbox over there. Put this over here. I'm going to attempt to try and slide these off. If not, we're going to try and find the joint. There's the little joint. But these nylon, I don't know what you want to call them, straps that they use, you just peel them off, take them off real easy. Find the end on this one, we'll take it off. See some smoke, don't worry about it. I got a little burn barrel going, burning up a bunch of Amazon boxes. What'd we do before Amazon? I don't know. Not have as many boxes? Ooh, wow, I thought that was empty. I guess that's not empty. Oh, nice little toolbox, a little tray on top. Looks like you can put some small stuff in there. I got a good idea for that already. It's going to be them little clips that hold everything together. You know, the ones that bite your fingers real hard. Another tray on top here. Ooh, looks like that's going to be the chain box. Looks like that's going to be the chainsaw holder. That's the bracket for putting everything together. A broken piece of plastic. Oh man, my box is busted. Look at that. I'm about to call them guys, let them know. Tell them I need another box. My box is broken. Ain't that something? Oh, shit. I didn't see that. I do plan on ordering some other stuff from them, so I'll talk to them, see if they can't just slip one in there as a replacement for that. We'll put this off to the side since it's broken. I'm not even going to acknowledge that we have it right now. So we're going to open up this chain box. Got a little burn pile going too. I want to check on it. Push them out here without my knife. See if I got one handy. Like I said, I've watched several unboxing videos. I knew what I was getting into when I unboxed this. This is more going to be of an assembly and an install video. You're getting a little bit of unboxing as we go. Just throwing all my trash right here in this box. This is going to be the chain box. The way the chain box works. Looks like it just gets older together than that. I will tell you online, I thought the chain box looked small. It's actually going to hold a pretty good amount of chain. I don't think I'm going to be too unhappy with that. Can't complain about that at all. It will get held together. The plate on this side, plate on this side, or maybe it's this way, I'm not sure. And then this bracket gets mounted on the tractor somehow. I'm thinking there might be instructions in the box. Again, I'm thinking I could be wrong. I don't recall. Those of you old enough to know who Oliver North is, that was his greatest defense. I do not recall. All right. That looks like the mounting plate for the system to go. Yep, that is the mounting plate for the entire system to go onto the tractor. What will happen is, the best place and the best place they recommend, and I understand why, because if you have a front end loader on here, you don't really get on and off this side. But all your controls are there. So this will sit like this, and it will get bolted down. See how that's going to work out with that. I'll have to check that out. It's got to go up a little higher. I don't know. Can't really go up too high. I'll have to play with that and see. It's got this retainer system on here. I have to work with that. But the box will go here. But the box misses all that, and then the chainsaw will be out here. Then I can have either a basket on this side to hold the gasoline and oil mix, and then the bar chain oil and some miscellaneous stuff. Eventually, I told you I was going to make another order. I'm going to get another basket to put on the other side, which will have my toolbox sitting in the basket. Right now, our toolbox is kind of shot. So we'll get back on that. But I told you this entire system comes apart. This is the only thing that will stay on the tractor. Then I put all that together, and it all goes together in this pin. We go through here like this, and it holds everything on. Thinking that might be a lot of weight, but I'm sure they had engineers involved. Pretty thick looking plate. I mean, everything looks really good. It looks like 3/8 inch steel. Chain box looks like it's 3/16, maybe quarter with the powder coat. Everything looks to be really well powder coated. We're going to continue to dig into all this and see what we got. A little piece of wooden deck here that I took out of my truck. I use it, a little work platform. I'll put it back in my truck when I'm done. Sure we're not missing anything in here. So I told you this entire assembly will mount onto the tractor. Looks like this will sit here, bolted on. And it looks like this comes up, goes like that. Then you pass your bolt through there, and it can't meet. Can't move, can't leave, can't go. Then when you're ready to take it off, you just lift up, pull it out, and take the whole assembly off. For whatever reason you want that out of the way, or you want to put it up for the night because you're worried about somebody stealing it or something to that effect. Here I got 2 plates. Not sure why there's 2 plates. This looks like the chainsaw holder. See, they got some high quality logo cut in there. I would almost think about taking this piece out and painting it so that pops. Of course, I'll probably do it Kubota orange just to make it work. It's the ITC Saw Boss. So the theory is that mount will sit here, the chain box will sit here, this will sit here. Doesn't really go out any further than the tire. I don't think it'll go much anywhere past the tire or even close to where the tire edge is, so it shouldn't rub, shouldn't scrape, shouldn't have to worry about nothing there. The saw will just slide down in here and sit there. It's kind of like a friction hold. We'll get back more on that as we get through it. And this is going to be the basket that mounts on the side of the chain box. It'll all bolt together. They basically sit right here, and you can put your toolbox in there, or you can put your gas can and your bar chain oil right there, or you can put it on this side. Flip it around, put it on this side. You're really not going to use this area right here to exit and enter the tractor anyway, because armatures are in the way. Oh, we don't have any instructions, so I think we're just going to dig in. Figure out what we figure out. I'm guessing the saw plate's going to be the last piece. I'll put that up here out of the way for now. I guess we're going to put the box together first. Looks like that's going to go together just like that. Assuming that's for that, this is for this. I don't know what these are for. I'll figure that out. So if you look right here, I'm trying to figure out on the chain box if I want the threads and the nut to go inside the box. I don't want them hooking on the chain. I'd rather have the flat part inside the chain box to where that protrudes. I wanted to make sure that the threads don't get in my way, and they're nowhere even close to being in the way. Look at that. They look like they are perfect right there. We're going to go with that. Have 4 bolts. Got 4 nuts. Everything just kind of lines up real well. Everything has square holes instead of round holes. So these carriage bolts that have the little square neck on them lock themselves in place. So it's real easy when you go to tighten up. Tighten them down by a finger. Kind of square everything up, kind of make it look pretty. Pop the toolbox open. Let's see what size these are going to be. So the good news is these are 9/16. If they were 1/2 inch, I'd have to go to a different toolbox because a 1/2 inch ratchet socket for my 3/8 toolkit is missing. It's the only one that's missing. I can't really say it's missing because I know exactly where it is. It's inside the frame of my wife's Jeep. Because we were working on the Jeep and I had to do a new ground, establish a new ground point. So I did that. Well, couldn't get the socket off. That might sound pretty silly to a lot of y'all. I tried everything I could. So the only thing I can do is stick the socket wrench back in there, the ratchet back in there with an extension, hook back on it, and run it out backwards and replace it. Because I do want another 1/2 inch socket for this kit. I think this is the only socket set I own that I've got all the pieces for. Funny enough how that works, huh? Alright, I'm giving it what it'll take. I don't want this to come apart. I could put some Loctite on there, but I don't really see the need for that. I'll turn this sideways now that we got her. I got her on there pretty good. As I said, the guys from ITC have been real good about communicating when the product was coming, what I could expect. Sent me some links. So that I could go up online and watch the videos getting put together. Watch the videos of it getting put together. I'll take this hat off because it's a little warm. This is my Boston Scully. I like these because they're big. It's actually got a little liner in it. Keeps my head warm. Had to get a haircut the other day because I had too much hair. It's done gone got hot down here. Everybody else got like a foot of snow on the ground. We don't have snow on the ground. I actually thought real hard about it. I'd take this sweatshirt off because I am cooking. Or am I getting cooked? I don't know. All this new lingo these kids use nowadays. Getting cooked, I guess, is bad. Cooking means you're doing good. I don't know. I'm believing this is where these go, but these feel a little bit tight. Don't necessarily want to have to drill them out. I'm going to go ahead and just use a little Allen wrench there you got. I'm going to run it down through there. All it is just the powder coat. Kind of creating a little bit of a lip. Oh, look like the attack kitties on the prowl. April must have sent some supervision out here. Anybody ever teach a cat to go get a beer? That would be a trick right there. Am I allowed to say beer? Is beer going to get me in trouble? I've said it a few times, so I can't imagine. It's not a nice cold beverage. That's what we'll call it. We're just going to use a little hardware provided. Put this all together. Look like I'm going to have a little bit of extra. Oop. Nope, there's some holes in the front. That video kind of would have been better to watch again, but these I'm putting the nuts on the inside You tighten them down, I don't think they're going to pass through the nut more than a thread or two, which is what's proper. And I think the Allen wrench bolt heads sticking out is going to look nicer. Not really worried about all the aesthetics of it, but if they went through the trouble of designing it so it don't look bad on your tractor, then why wouldn't you just go ahead and put it on the right way? I like how they put the honeycomb on the sides. Freed up a little bit of weight. So, I figured out how to get this level and square as best we can. I can push everything down and put it so it's where it is, or I can make it so the side rails are level, maybe like that. Let's do that. That'll give us a little bit of room for any water that gets in the tray to drain out. I don't really think this tractor ever sits on flat level ground, so it's going to all shed anyway, but in that rare event I do something correct and actually get it on level ground, well, would that be correct or would that be incorrect? I don't know. But we'll tell you a little story. I was doing some work on some other equipment and it was cold out. And I mean, it was cold out. And the little tray on this Craftsman toolbox kit, I couldn't get the sockets out of the socket holes. Why? Because the plastic was cold. It just didn't want to go. Give me a minute here. I'll make sure this side got to come up just a hair. Oh yeah, give it a little tappy tappy like that. Never fails. Bring that down a little bit and we'll lock that one in place. But, as I was saying, I couldn't get the sockets out of the little socket holders in the red toolbox from Craftsman. That plastic got so cold, those things are fit in there so tight, it just wasn't working together. It didn't want to help me. It didn't want to be my friend. It didn't want to do nothing. Finally, I took a screwdriver and had to pry them out. Wasn't real happy about that. But today, with it being all warmed up, the sockets are popping right out of there. I'm sure everybody that's ever put anything together before, everything always says, take things finger tight first until final construction is completed, and then go back down and tighten everything down. Well, I don't believe in doing things twice. I think if you get it lined up the way you want it, lock it down. I'm going to turn this around so we can do this side. I'll make sure we're squared up like the other one. This thing being a perfect 90 coming up, having the ends broken over to make a little box inside, leaves this joint right here. This 90 right here gives you some flex. So I can flex this in, flex this out, make this square to where I want it, make it square to how I want it. Again, keep saying I'm not about it being all pretty and whatnot, but if ITC went through all the hassle of designing it so that it's square and it looks good, then why wouldn't you make it square and look good? I do believe these bolts and screws that I'm using, not 100% sure. At least these, I believe, are stainless. These here, I'm pretty sure are not. I'm not too concerned about that. That's going to sit like that. This doesn't have any place to bolt anything on except for right there. So that's going to go on the front. I guess we ought to put that on first before we put the basket on. I guess we need to decide want the basket to the left or the basket to the right. That kitty's playing underneath the tractor. Normally he wants to be played with and wants to be held. Today, not so much right now. The cat is 100% feral. I do remember something from the video. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I do remember the guys from ITC saying that before you remove these 4 nuts, take you some cardboard, stuff it down in there, use it as a backer holder to hold those bolts in place. Otherwise, you'll play heck getting them together. You probably have to take all these apart to get those back on. That's what they don't want you to have to do. Now, having seen it though, they got all their nuts facing out, so I'm wondering if I shouldn't put the nuts facing out on that. I got the nuts facing out on the chain box for a distinct purpose. Yeah, I like the way that looks better that way though. I don't know. I might think about that one while I'm doing this. Let's bend our cardboard up. We could almost do that one in half and we'll tear the rest of this off. Go like this maybe. Yes, yes, I know. Using a knife, you should always cut away from yourself. Cut away, cut away, cut away. And yes, I know. The easiest way to cut yourself with a knife is with a dull knife. I think I got spoons in the house that are sharper than this razor blade. There, we'll cut away from ourselves. How's that? Or make the safety guy happier. So we're going to feed this down in there. Let's pull it out and see how far down we got to go. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks pretty solid now. I'm going to take these nuts off. Check on my burn barrel. Smoking good. Check on my little fire. Heck, I think it's out. Alright, what we do next, just take this, hang this off the edge a little bit. I'm going to hang it off the edge a lot more. Line up, there we go. Up here. Now, one thing I want to show you, see this cutout here? Here, 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 and here? I didn't quite know what they were for. I thought maybe they were reliefs for when they folded it, make it easier on themselves, also to shed a little weight. It actually is a cutout to allow these nuts right here to inset in. A pretty good idea. Real pretty good idea. I kind of like it. They definitely put a lot of thought into this, a lot of time into it. I imagine they built a few of them, tested them out, beat them up, threw them away, started over, maybe made some subtle changes, made some bigger changes, but whoever designed this, good job. You don't hear that too often. So I'm going to say it now. Good job on the design of it, the features of it, the thought that went into it. And if for any reason, I can't imagine why, but if I needed to access the heads of those Allen screws, Allen bolts, I actually could. So that is pretty nice. I'll move this whole platform forward a little bit. Let that sit right there. A little weight on it. Take this extension off. Let's make sure she's kind of sitting square. We're just eyeballing it. And honestly, as long as it's sitting where those screw holes are, it's going to be where it's going to be. Again, that's quality design right there. Helps when you go to tighten this down if you put the right size socket on there. That is a, I believe, a 9/16. Yep. I'm only going to do that one loose. I'm going to tighten this one by finger. Go with that one to finger tight. A little more than finger tight. Same thing with this one. Super Attack Supervisor Kitty's back. Playing in the yard. He loves this weather right now. Now we're going to crank these down pretty hard. Now, this does get bolted into the bolt box, and the nuts are on the inside. I told you I wasn't sure where I wanted to put the nuts. This one right here, I don't have a choice. But otherwise, the nuts would be inside where your chainsaw bar goes, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. I'm putting it to these bolts pretty good. I do think I may have to come back with some Loctite. They are cut in nuts. They got the little raised head on them. To where it cuts into the metal a little bit, keeps itself from backing out, but hopefully that'll work. I'll check it out over time. If I notice that it looks like maybe they're backing out, then we'll take a look and see. Now, just for a rough idea, this bad boy is heavy. Ain't no doubt. Again, we said this is going to get mounted here. That'll be the only thing physically mounted on the tractor loader arm. Then, it just slides in, just like that. This whole bad boy is just going to sit right there. And it's got a basket going off either side. I've only got one basket. Like I said, I'm going to get another. I guess it's that time. The time that I got to figure out which end this basket's going on. I wanted to put the chainsaw holder onto the chain box with the tractor mount attached to it so I could get an idea of my distance. I almost want to mount the tractor plate so I can see how much room back I've got. I think I've got room for days. We're going to put this on there and find out for sure. Now, the way this is designed, you put it that way, you put it that way, doesn't matter. They built versatility into it. I do remember some kind of conversation about you can either go crossways or crossways, or it goes through the top only or through the bottom only. I believe there was a conversation had online about when you mount it, if you've got the boxes, tool boxes, to go ahead and mount it straight through the top. There's a reason for that. I don't recall what the reason is, but there was a reason for that. I do also recall a conversation that if you've got the basket, you will end up having to cut whatever excess threads there are once you get this bolted down. We're going to kind of take a look at that now, see what we're looking at. Again, we are just going finger tight on this right now. I know I said I like to lock stuff down, put it in place. I don't even know where this thing's going to sit. How this thing's going to sit. Head of the nut on backwards. Those of you that say, how can you put a nut on backwards? You don't realize nuts have a front and a back. They can be put on backwards. For all you boiler makers out there who are just bolt tub guys, this is what a boiler maker is. That comment's going to piss a lot of people off. Oh well. There is a right side and a wrong side to a nut. Washers, there is a right side and a wrong side as well. Some nuts have a built-in washer on them. This is crazy. So, I don't want to get too far up into that loader arm. Thinking it's going to be something like that, maybe. Yeah, the whole thing falls down. Oh, let's see. What do we think that's going to be? 3/4? Let's check 3/4. Probably 3/4, but I can't get on it because I need a deep well 3/4. Go to our spare toolbox over here. This toolbox here, she's kind of old. She's been through the ringer. She's got all but one socket. Believe it or not, one socket I'm missing is 12 millimeter. No, she's missing 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're missing a bunch. We won't have that conversation then. Let's see. I don't know if this 3/4 is going to be any longer. Give me a little bit of room. I do have some deep well impact sockets that I can put on there. I may do that. Again, I don't know exactly where I want to put this. I don't want to be way up in here because I might have to come down some more. Tell you what. Let's push that down out the way. Put that right there for now. I was going to disconnect the bucket, but I don't think I'm going to. That's got that down pretty low. Also, got the front tires off the ground. So that should be about down as far as I need to put that. So, the thought process is, I go right there tight against it, and I come down just a little bit, say, right like that. See what that does for us. Doing the old cheater, my socket isn't long enough, so we're just going to put it on there, let it catch, and then just catch what we can with the ratchet. Just tighten it down a little bit. We'll check, make sure we're kind of leveled up and square where we want to be. That's kind of tight, so that's pretty much where she's going to live. Alright, we put it on there pretty good. Alright, that looks pretty good. In the future, I may undo that, slide a piece of rubber on the back side just to protect the back side of the loader arm. Now, what I want to do, I want to hang this where it's supposed to go. I can already tell you, I'm going to have to loosen that up and adjust it because it hangs down not straight. Oh, if I had a piece of rubber, I'd put it on there right now. We're going to toolbox number 3. Get us a long 3/4 inch. I know you're not supposed to mix impact ratchets and chrome ratchets. The way that really works is you can't use chrome sockets on impacts. You can use impact sockets on chrome ratchets. Doesn't hurt anything. People probably still get mad at you, but all right, we got that loosened up a little bit. I got to find something to knock on that. Give it a little tappy tappy. Back up, let's take a look at that. Oh, I think it's got to go a whole lot that way. Remember I said I didn't want to get too far up into that loader arm? Well, we might be up in that loader arm. When we're out playing around, moving stuff around, we're just going to have to look at it. I think that looks pretty good right there. Go ahead and lock that back down. Guys, I'm not a professional by any means. I just kind of do my own thing. Got a ratchet here that ain't wanting to play right. Like I said, this come from my backup kit. Which used to be my good kit until I started losing sockets and wrenches out of it. Give this one over here one more good little love push. Oh, yeah, those are good. I don't think those are going anywhere. Isn't that what you're supposed to say? That ain't going anywhere. Those of you that don't understand why I said that because that's inviting Murphy to come mess with my day. Maybe not today. It'll probably be the day that I least need it. And it'll happen. So, I'm going to set this up on here, kind of see. Yeah, definitely understand what they're saying. In order to get that to sit correctly, it would have to bolt up. Is there a right bolt up? One's going to be in, one's going to be out. I can't go too far that way. Okay, that eliminates that. I can't go too far that way because I got to be able to get that pin in. It may end up being right like that, and I got to be able to be past that. So it's going to sit like that. I was thinking it might be more square. You know, I might have my chain box on wrong too, because I bet you can put the chain box on the same way. either side. I would think the back was to hold it together, because then you wouldn't have nothing on this side holding it together. That's what this clip was for. But it does look like you could go either way, which would bring this out further. But then it would make this not equal to that. I would want that more square. I think that looks better that way. That's how we're going to go. We will be sending this video off to the guys at ITC just as a courtesy for them to view it. They're not going to approve it or disapprove it. They can't tell me I can or cannot use it because I paid for it. But I will send it to them as a courtesy. If they want to use it in their marketing, then by all means they can. I'm going to say that I'm happy with the way that's sitting. I'm going to go get a hacksaw. So I believe these are in the position that I want them to be in. And I'm going to cut them probably one thread forward away from the nut, the back face of the nut, front face of the nut, I guess that would be, or the back face, depending on whichever side you're talking about. Fully aware of the fact that if I have to take this fat back off, I'm going to have to be real careful and figure out how to spring it, because I'm probably not going to get it back on without a big bunch of clamps and some fighting and some cussing. I'm probably throwing some stuff. But while I'm cutting these off, I'm going to tell you a little story that I'm highly surprised about that just happened. I just walked into my shop. I walked straight to my toolbox. I opened the exact drawer that I thought the saw was in, and it was there. I can tell you that doesn't happen all the time. Some days I even amaze myself. Wish I could undo this fusible link and spin it around, put it around the backside with the rest. I don't know why they did it that way, but it's been working for all these years, so I guess I won't fuss about it. With a hacksaw, it's just an endurance race. See who gives up first. The bolt or you. Oof. I think I'm giving up first. I'm going to do the old school method and give that a little tappy tappy, see if it wants to start moving on us. No, the whole thing wants to move. Okay, we'll just keep cutting that. older I get, quicker my arms give out. There we go. One piece of bolt cut off. Now, the other one over here, since I don't have the other basket, we're going to wait on that. Now, let's play around with this and see how we want to mount it. These we're going to put on real loose, just till we figure out a little tighter than loose. I mean, I kind of think just like that. Now, something I did notice that I could do, if I wanted to, take a little bit more hardware. But I could mount this plate right here, and it would allow me, I think, nope. I saw the slots in there and I was thinking it might work. It does not work. But, you know what I could do? If I so decided to make this basket removable, nope, can't do that either. It only goes one way. Thought maybe the designers were onto a trick. It doesn't look like it. Good thought though. Problem is, I had some nuts in my hand. I'm not intelligent enough to know what I did with them. Pretty sure I'm missing one. So, you can slide that out like that. Push that out from the window in. I think that right there looks pretty good. I'm gonna go with that. White looks good. Yeah, seriously, I have absolutely no idea what I did with that one nut. We're going to put this one in. I don't know what I'm going to do with the last one. Because I don't know what I did with the last one. I checked my pockets like 3 times. Oh, I got the pole. No, I have no idea what I did with it. I mean, I literally just had it standing right here. Oh, I thought I found it. Nope, just like playing with my eyes. I'm gonna check my pockets a 5th time. There it is. I'm amazed I even found that. I got a secret weapon for finding stuff. A lot of people say go get one of them rolling magnets. You can put a magnet on a roller and go roll the area and it'll pick up all the metal you got there. But I got a wife that's got better eyes than I got. And I tell her I lost something, I tell her it's somewhere in this area right here. But if anybody's looking for a tiny screw or a nut or a bolt or a pin, you know that tiny little area right there isn't tiny. That might as well be 2711 acres. In about 3 minutes, she'll walk over, look around, go, there it is right there. Pick it up and hand it to me. I'd still be on my hands and knees 3 days later looking for that thing. But she got pretty sharp eyes. She got pretty keen eyes. Me, not so much. So we're giving it to these bolts and nuts pretty good. But again, I don't want them to move. Ooh, that was a little loose. I'm sure there's a much better way to do all this. I'm sure y'all can tell me in the comments how I could have done it better or what I did right. I don't really need to know what I did right, but tell me what you think I should have done differently. What I should have done better. How you would have done it differently. That is the complete install minus the toolbox. But again, the toolbox just sits right there. Doesn't strap in or nothing, but you would have to do some serious off-roading to get that toolbox to hop up out of there. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I don't do that kind of off-road, and I'm not going to say I hadn't almost flipped this thing over forward, backwards, and sideways, but a little broken piece of plastic, we just dropped it. I'm not sure where it went. We'll be hollering for April after we turn this off. Now, like I said, you can put a gas can in here. You can put your bar chain oil can in here. I'm going to go get them. Just take a look at it, see how it looks. You can put the toolbox in here. I am going to order another basket because I do want one on the other side because I do want the toolbox. And I want the toolbox right here. Probably like that. With the hinge to the back. That way, I can be lazy, sit in a chair, pop it, lift it, get whatever I need. Or if I'm over here, I can do it. Let me see. Let me flip this around. It might be easier with the hinge on the outside. No, because you got to be able to reach in here, and these nuts and bolts are going to get in your way. You're going to have to pick it up and probably turn it sideways. Then you can flip it. Now drop everything on the ground. It'll be a work in progress. But I do want the toolbox on one side. I do want the gas and everything on this side. If you notice, I chose this side because the restrictions are getting on and off due to this loader control. And then I got the 3-point or the extra function loaded on here. That ties in another cylinder right here, which kind of puts everything all up in your knees, and so you can't get on and off over there. The other reason I did that is I'm going to have the gas and the oil right here. I don't want an exhaust. The exhaust comes out the other side. I don't want the exhaust blowing up this way, heating up that fuel and that oil. Now, I could always put the toolbox over here. Not a big deal. Not terrible idea, actually. Might actually be a decent idea. I have my fuel here. Might become a little beverage cart. It might become a little ice chest. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're missing out. Poke a little hole in the bottom, let it all drain out. We got this on a little bit of an angle. All that beverage ice water would leak out. You can always use it to wash your hands off, cool your hands off, put your head underneath there. So this is complete in its form. Toolbox damaged, no big deal. I'll talk to them. I'm sure they'll make that right. Send me another toolbox. If not, I can go get them. Tractor Supply, discount store. Heck, you can get them at the Army Supply store. You can get them at the used Army surplus store. You can get an actual metal one if you want to put in there. That'll work too. I'm going to go get the gas. And I'm going to go get the bar chain oil. And I may have to modify what kind of bottles I keep them in, or containers I keep them in, jugs I keep them in, cans. How about cans? We're going to go cans and bottles, cans and jugs. Let's go cans and jugs. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to slide the saw down in here, see how she fits. I'm running a big steel, so I may have to loosen these up. Put a little washer on there, tighten them back down. I don't know what that'll do for this plastic slider. I think that's kind of size to what it is. I don't know if that'll open up as well. We'll have to take a look at it and see. I'm sure if they did enough of an engineering job on this to make this simple, then they took that into consideration. I want to show you one thing before we do all that. Remember I said this whole thing was removable and it was simple. It all happens with one pin. This pin goes in here all the way through. Give that a little tappy tappy. There you go. Little tappy tappy. That ain't going nowhere. All right. To remove it, give it a little tappy tappy. Pull that pin. I'm going to throw that pin right there. Make sure you eat your Wheaties in the morning. It's even empty, this thing's heavy. But not so heavy you can't pick up and take off. I mean, it's not terrible, honestly. Pretty well balanced. I think once I have a second basket on it, I'd just be able to walk up to it, grab it here, grab it right here. It would be balanced. And boop. Getting it back on, just as simple. Walk up, slide the bottom ones, let it drop down. Put your pin in there. Give it a little bit of wiggle wiggle. You don't even need a tappy tappy. Now, I don't see a reason why that would wiggle out on its own. You could always go to the farm store supply and get you a pass-through pin, put your cotter pin through the end, whatever you want to do. I've actually got enough room. I could maybe do that. I don't know. Maybe. But we're gonna run what we brung. I'm gonna go get the gas can. I'm gonna go get the oil jug, cans and jugs. That's what we're going with. And I'm gonna go get the saw. Let's see what this looks like. Guys, it don't get no better than that. Now, one thing I may do, these 4 bolts right here with these nuts, I may flip them around. I don't really want these rubbing on the side of my fuel can. I think I'm going to do that. We're going to put them to the inside. I know we said we weren't going to do that, but I don't really think that's going to be a problem. I'm going to go ahead and do these one at a time so everything stays where it was. Tell you the little mark them nuts made, I think cut in there pretty good. Did exactly what it's supposed to do. Oop, wrong way. See, we're really cranking down on them, keeping them where we want them. I like how they like the plastic sheath in here that allows the saw to ride up and down in it and not wear on anything metal. I like how they left that just natural black. You can take it out, you can paint it whatever color you want. Make it match the color of your tractor. Paint it red if you got them 100. Paint it blue if you got a New Holland. Paint it orange if you got a Kubota. Paint it orange if you got a Coyote. We're fighting a little bit to get in here because we got all these other bolts here in. That boy right there is eating. All right. I told you these little decorative, not really decorative, but just stainless steel Allen head bolts. Got the bolts to the outside. I got the nuts to the inside. Told you I did that on purpose. I don't think I'm going to change that because I don't really see that getting in the way. Yes, it would create a smoother finish on the inside that I wouldn't have to worry about. But honestly, I'm not worried. All right. She's going to bounce around, clatter, make a little bit of noise because she's clamped on there with one bolt, one little retaining pin in a clamping system. If I hear that over all the noise that this tractor clanks and makes and the exhaust and everything else, I'd be surprised. I'm not worried about that noise. I'll probably have earplugs in or something anyway, depending on what I'm doing. So it won't really matter. That's one thing I will have to find out what I can do. I'm going to want to see where I can hang my earmuffs for my chainsaw when I'm cutting. I was skeptical whether this 2.5 gallon container was going to fit in there. Man, she fits in there all day long just like it was built to do that. Bar chain oil. You can't go wrong with that right there. That is outstanding engineering, outstanding design concept, great thought, and I like it. I got no arguments there. Let's get the chainsaw, slide it down in there, and see what the final product looks like. Does it matter which way you put the saw? I don't know. Tell you what. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I thought it might hit the gas can. No, sir. I thought these log biters, I call them, little log dogs or whatever you want to call them, these hooks that go in the log that help you press down and cut through the log, thought they were going to hit here. I thought that gap inside there wasn't going to be opened up enough to be able to take that bar and that chain. None of that happened. And I'll tell you what, the back side of this doesn't encroach into the chain box at all. We'll give you a good little walk around here in just a moment, but now, I told you everything stays inside the tire. We're inside the tire almost a good inch. Now, this arm on this saw, it's going to stick out past the back tire. Could you spin this around? I sure would believe you could. I mean, I say you can, but it hits the loader arm, it covers up your box, this thing don't seat all the way down, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's going to ride like this. I'm going to say that's how they intended it, and that's how I'm going to go with it. Again, I got no complaints, no arguments whatsoever. One last finishing touch. I don't carry a huge chain on me. I used to hang it up there. I used to hang it up there. I hung it a couple other spots. I hung it up off the rollover protection bar and had it smack me in the head a few times. I can tell you right now. That's what, a 7-foot chain? 8-foot chain maybe? If I tell you the chain box comes to down here, that chain goes right there. I could fill the rest of that. I could probably put, no doubt, probably a 50-foot chain in there. I could definitely put a 25-footer in there all day long. That right there, a couple different ways I can hook my chain, let it sit, put it over the side. I got my other basket on there. I'm not going to be able to put it over the side. I did just test it out the backside, and it works perfect. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. I am highly impressed with this. Not often do I find a product that I'm going to shout out and tell them, hands down, I would buy this again. I would. I'm going to buy the additional basket. I may just buy the additional basket with the toolbox in it and have an extra toolbox. See if they'll send me one to replace that one. I might take that one to work and just fix it. I don't know. I'm almost speechless. Those of you that know me or have been watching me for a while, you know that's almost impossible. But there it is, folks. ITC combo organizer for the loader arm on your tractor. Take a note right there. The way these are built, with this bracket, with this system right here that slides on, it will work on your rollover protection. You could mount it right here. You put your toolbox right there, or put your organizer right there. You put it across the back. I don't particularly care to put it across the back just because I'm back there with my head trying to put stuff together, trying to get PTOs on. I smack myself in the head with enough stuff. I get mad enough as it is. I don't need to put something else in my way. This is out of my way. I get off the tractor, I come over, everything's right there. If I had the other basket with the toolbox, I'd be completely beside myself. I don't know what I would be able to say. The way this all sits in here, I mean, you can't get no better than that. Honestly, I don't see how they could get better than that. I do know they make another mod that you can mount on the other side or even on this side. This side would be hard to get to. It only mounts on that side out of the way, and that's if you got one of them really long walking sticks that make noise when you hit the little thing on it. You know, the little thingy. They make one of them for one of them, so you can have it with you when you're out in the woods, out and about. So when you're out taking care of business, if something happens, you can take care of business. But looks good to me. I am completely happy with it. I thought I was going to have to go to a smaller gas can. I don't. I can run 2.5 gallons. Now, that is a long day for anybody that uses a chainsaw. And this fuel tank is that big. You know how many times you got to fill that up to get 2.5 gallons in there? Ain't every day, but there are days. Let's do a quick little walk around. Show you what I'm thinking. Show you what I'm seeing. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. If the mud hit the fan and I had to dive off this side, I could still make that dive. I mean, if I'm diving off this side, I'm getting hurt anyway. So what's a little more bumps and bruises? You just look over here. We're going to do a little pan sideways over here, get y'all a little diagonal. I got plenty of room up in there. Nothing's touching nothing. Come over here. Look how that saw fits in there. Is that thing not pretty? Look back there. Sitting on right there, sitting on right there. The chain and bar in there. They're not touching. They're just in there kind of free floating. Man, I tell you. Take a peer down here inside this chain box. I'm going to lift this chain up out the way. Look at that. You see daylight down there? That means if I leave my chain in there, and I can promise you, I'm going to leave my chain in there. It rains, because my tractor sits outside. That rainwater will just drip right out. Won't be an issue. I can come back, I can oil my chain. You can take a smell on that chain right now. You'll smell she's oiled. She don't look like it, but she's oiled. All you folks out at ITC, well done. Well done indeed, people. Well done. That's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to ride off into the sunset and see what the next day brings, but that's all I got for you. Again, this is Thomas with Muddy Boots, Louisiana, Homestead. I try and do little projects that benefit me. I paid for this entire setup. Nobody paid for it. Nobody sponsored me. This all came out of my pocket. Don't tell my wife that. But I'm highly impressed with it. And you folks at ITC, I will be in touch. Again, thanks for a great product. And for the rest of y'all, thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Tell me what you could do better down in the comments, or what I should have done. Tell me what color you think I should paint this. There's a little cutout section. I'm thinking orange for Kubota, but maybe my steel saw is orange. My gas can's red. Maybe I can find an orange gas can. What do you think? Or should I do an accent color? Should I do something crazy and wild like yellow or green, or I don't know. I'll let my wife near it. She'll paint it pink or purple. I think I might paint the outside and leave the inside black. Make it a little more subtle. I don't know. Well, folks, that's it. Thanks for watching. Catch me on the next one.